Hello and welcome to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. I'm Brendan Lang along with Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, two broadcasters here for the Brampton Steelheads on Saga 960 AM. And Mikey, it is season 3 of Trout Talk here. Season 2 with the Brampton Steelheads, of course, the first year with Mississauga, but season 3 of Trout Talk. That's pretty crazy. Time's gone pretty fast here.
Unbelievable. I mean, we're just around the corner from the preseason, regular season, a little bit earlier start this year. It's going to start September 18th, which is actually on my birthday in Peterborough, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. But
Turning
we
25?
just, what's that?
Turning 25?
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Thanks so much. Yeah. 22, actually.
Oh,
Maybe
22,
22,
okay.
21, 22. So, but it's been a nice summer so far, Brendan. It's nice to be back here. Our last episode, we went live at the Steelheads golf tournament in Milton, Mississauga, Oakville, wherever you want to call it. I don't know, in between there, right? But we had a great time, and nice to be back. And Brendan, summer's been going well. How about yourself?
Yeah, summer's been going well for me too. You know, it's been a lot of golf. I've been, been golfing, been working, doing some different things. So it's been a good summer, and I'm really looking forward to getting things going again.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, again, we said it's season 3 of Trout Talk, but if you haven't tuned in before, this is kind of the show where we're going to cover everything Steelheads throughout the entire season. We're going to have interviews with players, coaches. I guess I can say right now, coming up in moments, the head coach and general manager of the Steelheads, James Richmond, is going to be here on the program. But yeah, so again, this is kind of going to cover everything Steelheads, everything OHL throughout the entire season, and we're going to have lots of great guests, lots of great player interviews, coaches interviews, possibly some other guests in there as well at some point. So. It's going to be the place to be if you want to keep up with everything with the Steelheads, and you can hear the games, of course, here on Saga 960 as well. Myself, Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, Zach Bodenstein, who isn't on the show here today, will be on the broadcast as well. So I know we're really looking forward to it. And when we were at the golf tournament, we were talking to quite a few of the players, and it seems like everybody's got a little bit of a buzz. Really excited to get things going this year.
Yeah, I mean, you see that the guys have grown again. I mean, wow, did you see Parker Von Richter? He just looks bigger and bigger. The defenseman for the Brampton Steelheads, Kieran Mikowski, looks like he's gained about 20 pounds of muscle. I mean, these guys have really been working hard. It's going to be a different team this year. It's going to be a different team, obviously. Some guys moving on to the NHL. Some guys have moved on to the NCAA, but they still have a really solid core, really solid core in the back end. And we'll get into that more. But and they just made a trade today. We'll talk about that with the GM and head coach of the Brampton Steelheads, James Richmond, picking up Justin Botno. Veteran guy. He'll be up there with Zabeski. Played a lot in Kitchener. He got traded with the Guelph Storm. I like this deal a lot for the Brampton Steelheads. A guy that adds a little bit more depth up there as well. So, and we know there's been some players that have been drafted to the NHL, of course, from the Steelheads. We could talk about that as well. We'll get into that, Brendan.
Yeah. We'll have James Richmond on here in a moment, and we'll talk about that trade. We'll talk about some of the other trades they've made in the offseason too. There's been a few of them that have happened, so we'll kind of get into that. And then maybe in the last segment, we can kind of talk about the guys who were drafted from the Steelheads. And just as you have said, and we have said many times before, and James Richmond has talked about, that they are the best organization, the Steelheads are, at getting these players to the NHL, getting them to sign pro contracts, getting them drafted. So, we'll talk to James Richmond, and then in the last segment, we'll kind of go over some of the guys that were drafted and just sort of what we can look forward to this year.
Yeah, I can't wait for the year to start, folks. This is going to be good, and you can listen on Saga 960 1 to 2 p.m. every Sunday. It will be, but it might be. Stay tuned because some of the Sunday games are kind of weird. The Saginaw start at 5:30. I think we might move that to 4:30, whatnot. But anyway, that's up to our program director. But we're going to be all season long and be here all season long, and we're looking forward to the season. It's going to be a different group, but it's going to be a hard-working group, in my opinion. And but our guest is going to talk about that. The boss, as we call him, GM and head coach James Richmond, and it's gonna be a good year. I really like the pickup of Zach Bowen. We'll get into that as
Yeah.
well. So
Yep, 100%. We will get into that here in mere moments because head coach and general manager of the Brampton Steelheads is coming up next. Again, James Richmond on the other side of the break. I'm Brendan Lang. Mikey K. Mike Karafilidis is here as well, and you're listening to Trout Talk on Saga 960 AM. Hello and welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Thank you so much for coming along. Myself, Brendan Lang, here with Mikey K, Mike Karafilidis, our first episode of season 3 of Trout Talk here, Mikey. And we have our guest today, head coach, general manager of the Brampton Steelheads, James Richmond. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me, guys, and hope everyone's summer was good. So,
yeah,
Thank
summer's been good.
Yeah, it's been going well. How's it been going for you? Obviously, still busy in the summer, but
yeah.
have you been able to take some time off as well?
No, not this year. Unfortunately, with a bunch of new stuff going on, new rules and everything, and no, we really didn't take much time off at all. Getting ready, and we start up this weekend. So I've been into the rink pretty much the last few weeks, anyway. So we got to get going here.
That's good. That's excellent. So yeah, I mean, the golf tournament. You were in a golf tournament. Actually, this is a kind of a funny story. When I was getting the interview together with JR, I thought he was playing in a hockey tournament because he said tournament at first. So I said,
yeah.
I said to him, I go, wow, I go, awesome. I go, get a Gordie Howe for me,
Yeah.
He said, no, a golf tournament. He said, I said I was cheering him on for golf, but
yeah, part of the GM's meetings that we hold every year is the first afternoon is an OHL golf tournament. So yeah, so Jake Wood and Matt Chern,
which you won.
We were good.
Well,
we tied
at 16 under. They won the whole alumni tournament. Talk about that first. I mean, that's a huge win. I mean, for you.
Well, Jake Wood's a pretty good golfer, right? He might be a 1 or 2 handicap, and Chachi can really bang it out there off the tee, and then I just kind of chip in along the way. So it was a good day. It was a good day. We had a couple of eagles, and it was a fun day. It was, one of the only days that it rained, but we stuck it out. We played the whole round in the rain, so it was a fun day. It's always nice to get out with the guys, the hockey guys, over the summer. I kind of let them do their own thing, and then when we get going, we get going. So now we're going, and it was fun to get out there with them.
And you talk about getting going win. Now. I know you had said that you didn't really have any time off this summer, but like, at what point in the summer does it kind of turn the corner of like off-season duties to kind of moving towards getting into training camp and getting the season going?
Well, this year again, because of the new rules and players leaving early and other NHL guys signing early, we're go time right after the import draft, right? So we had the import draft, and then we're right at it to get guys, maybe some free agents invited to camp this year, because there's no more rules about players not being able to, or they lose their eligibility down south. So our guys been hard at that, trying to find some free agents to come to camp and putting the camp together and dates and itineraries and getting, like I said, getting players to come in for it. So
yeah, so you've been talking about some of the players that have moved on. You talk about the rule change. Actually, one of them is the new slew foot rule that actually what I just saw today is it can be changed to a 4 minutes instead of a 5 minute kicked out after review and whatnot, right? Talk about the new rules.
In the past,
talk about that. Like your thoughts about the new rules.
Yeah, in the past, the GMs and coaches, sometimes the referee's hands are tied. If it's a slew foot, trip from behind, that type of thing, it's an automatic game misconduct or automatic 2-game suspension. And we just thought that there's some that are less than others, and they're all being penalized the same way. So now we've made, I think, the referees' jobs or lives a little bit easier. They can choose what they see, and if they do decide that it's more of a violent kick or in a dangerous area by the boards where a guy could seriously injure himself, and how violently does he go back on his back and his head. And So we've I think we've made their job a little little easier for them. There's a few rule changes, with offside now we have to challenge, and if you challenge, you lose the challenge, you get a penalty just like it is in the NHL. But there's a few things coming on board, and I think it's good. It's we want the game to be played fast and physical. We don't want the dirty stuff. We don't want guys going out to injure guys. But we also know that the game is a physical brand of hockey, and injuries are part of the game. We saw that last year. So
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it has nothing to do with the violent nature of a hit. So I think the league has done a great job of making the changes, and we'll see how it goes here in exhibition right away.
With the rule changes, what does the process look like to do these changes? Like, is it the league just telling you this is what they are, or like, do you guys say in that? Yeah.
There's committees, GMs and head coaches are asked for their opinions, and we discuss it amongst the guys, and then we bring that forward to the league, and the league looks at it, and they go through a lot of video from past years, and then that motion's taken up above, and if it's passed, it's passed, and if it's not, it's not. So, but it's not just decided in a day or two. It's guys talk about it and get everybody's opinion on it, and on this one here, I think it was majority of us. Well, I would say almost all of us said yes to the Slewfoot one. So.
All right, so let's talk about training camp. You said it's coming up and whatnot. A little bit of a different team this year, of course. So you actually just made a trade. You picked up Justin Bontenot, which was just announced on the Guelph Storm site right before actually I logged in. I was like, oh, very nice. That's a nice pickup from. He's a veteran from the Kitchener Rangers, somebody that can be up there with Mason Zabeski. But the back end looks pretty good, JR. But up front, you pick up Bontenot, a little bit more insurance up there. Talk about the team this year. Probably a little bit different, but let's talk about what we have in training camp right now.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think our back end is going to be really solid. I mean, we've got some good, strong players back there. Obviously, picking up Zach Bowen out of Peterborough, our goaltending will be good, strong, and then we'll have a really good competition at training camp for the next two goalie positions. Up front, I think that if you look at look at a guy like Sherrod, who scored 20 goals, not really getting much power play time at all. Where can he go to? Can he go to 30, 35, 40? You look at a guy like Kieran Witkowski coming in his third year. He's had a big summer. Where can he get to? Can he get to 20? Eggleton's coming back, and Eggy missed all last year pretty much with the shoulder surgery. And he can score. He can put the puck in the net. And Zabeski, obviously, Zeber's going to be counted on heavily. But I think some of the guys that are going into the third, fourth year, they've had really big summers. We've seen them, and I think they'll get more of an opportunity. And I think, the names aren't as sexy. It's definitely not as sexy, but I think we're going to be really tough to play against. And I think guys will figure it out, and we'll manufacture some goals. We will. So.
And up front, a guy in the import draft, your first pick in the import draft in Stankoven coming over. What can you tell us about him and his game and how that kind of fits into your system?
So we got Matty Stankoven. We have our guys over there that thought this guy was a real solid 200-foot centerman. I talked to a few NHL guys, and they have him in next year's draft. They're not sure where, before the 5th round, but not in the first round. We watched some video on him. Northern and I did. We really like the way he moves around the ice. He's a super kid. He's a leader. He's always been a captain. He's really, really pumped to come. So he should. It'll take him a while. The first year players, the first year imports usually take a little bit of a while to get their feet underneath them. But we're looking forward to seeing Stankoven.
One guy that signed as well, that was a draft pick that's committed to Penn State, I believe, in Zach Nyman. Great, I think, great puck moving defenseman. At least what I've seen, he's really, really rated high in the United States as well. On puck preps, he's rated like a 4-star defenseman, and that's huge. Like
Yeah.
online and
So
whatnot. What's that?
In his draft year, he would have been a top 10 pick. You know,
Right.
I mean, he's a guy who controls the play. One of the best skaters I've seen since Thomas Harley. He really controls the power play up top on the blue line. He makes very, very smart plays. Not the biggest guy, so he uses good lines and good stick position while defending through the neutral zone and D zone. You know, he played for a little bit out in the BC League last year, then got hurt, had knee surgery. So he won't be ready to start the season with us. But he's very, very close. He'll be on the ice day one at camp, but I think it's best to kind of bring him along more slowly so we don't go through what we did last year where we're losing guys for extended periods. But Zach Nyman's is a heck of a defenseman, yeah.
And he's one of the names that's added on the back end. Of course, you draft Peter Green, you sign David Green as well coming in, and there's going to be a few new pieces there as we're talking about. Now, how much do you have to rely on guys like Parker Von Richter, Jakob Fibiger, Dragusik, Aridgi that have been there before to kind of help these guys along?
So, David Green, again, he's another guy that was committed to the NCAA scholarship right out of U16. So he went to the USHL, but then obviously when things opened up, we get guys back. There's more guys actually that have come into our league than have left our league, but everybody is making more of a story about guys leaving. But there's more guys that have come back in, and David Green's one of them. He's a great big monster of a defenseman, moves really, really well for a big guy. So we're pumped to get him. Obviously with Peter Green, I mean, we thought he was the best defenseman. He was ranked as the top defenseman, and he went as the number one defenseman. Similar to, Harley went pretty late in that first round when we took him, and he did all right, and he did all right in the NHL draft. So not saying that Peter Green is Thomas Harley, but our back end, I think, is really solid. Obviously, so, Reed Gee is out till November sometime. He hurt his knee over the summer in summer training, so he had knee surgery, so he's out to November sometime. So we've got some great depth on the back end coming in, and camp's going to be a heck of a camp. We've got more people coming to camp this year than we ever have since I've been with the Steelheads, and the reason for that is that there's no 48-hour rule where guys lose their eligibility at the league before it. So we've got 61, 62 kids coming in, and they're all going to be looked at hard. So it's we're looking forward to it. Kids don't have to leave after 2 days. Obviously, the numbers will get down after 2 days, but we're going to look hard at some of these guys that have committed down south that haven't played in our league. Like Julian DeMiglio played last year. He had already committed to RIT, but when the rule changed, he came in and stepped in and did all right for us. So we look for good things out of DeMiglio as well. Jinmin looks great through the summer. There's some guys that are looking really strong. So it's I think we'll be hard to play against.
Yeah, I really like that your second pick in the OHL priority selection draft, Keaton Ardaugh. Man, this kid, he can score. He can absolutely score. What I've seen, right? And I actually met his brothers on the golf course. Really nice family too, as well. Comes from a good background and whatnot. But boy, talk about Keaton Ardaugh.
Yeah,
what can we expect from him?
He played for JRC and kind of from the wing, kind of controlled his line. He made his line go. He really pushed that line and drove the line. So when you can do that as a winger, similar to, I'm not comparing to Porter Martone, but Martone drives a line from the wing, and so does Keaton Ardaugh. Ardaugh is really, really strong along the walls, on the defensive half wall and in the offensive zone, and he can rip a puck. Boy, oh boy. I mean, we were watching him through the summer here sometimes, and I said to one of the guys on the ice, he shoots it a little bit like Tippy did, Tippett. And
whoa, there's a comparison.
Well, yeah, don't want to compare him to Tippett. He's a pretty. I love Tippy, and the way he shot a puck was ridiculous. But Keaton is really close to that. He really gets it off the stick in a hurry, and there's a lot behind it. So yeah, we're excited, and we're excited. He played 9 games for us this past year. He's had a big summer, so these guys are all going to come in a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. And again, we probably won't be as sexy up front with the names, but I think we'll be hard to play against.
And just one name I wanted to go back to on the back end is Luke Draguska. Obviously, a really tough year for him last year with the injuries. Didn't get into a lot of games. Like, what are you expecting from him this year? Obviously, it's tough when you miss like a whole year of development like that. But yeah, just kind of what are you looking for in him coming into this season?
He did miss a year of development, but man, oh man, if you saw him work over the summer and you saw him right now, you'd like, wow, it's he's put a lot of work in, and that kid is as good as they come. His heart is huge. He's loved by his teammates and his coaches, and we are really, really excited to see Drags come in and play and be that physical, mean defenseman back there. He moves really well. He moves the puck well. He can shoot it from the blue line, and he's feared out there. So we are pretty pumped to get Drags back in, and I know he's pumped, and he's looked real good over the summer. He really has. So.
That's awesome. Ivan Drago, he's probably getting bigger and bigger. That's what I call him from Rocky 4 all the time. Just
the beast
talks like him, acts like him. Man, well, what he did to Apollo Creed, if anybody's ever seen Rocky, that made me sad. You remember that when he did to Apollo Creed?
You're going way back now. So
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
I haven't seen Rocky. I can't.
You never seen it?
I've never seen it. No,
you've never seen Rocky.
Never seen it.
Oh man, you gotta watch it, dude.
Why would he?
It's a good movie. Yeah, I know it's good. Put it on. Late at night and stuff.
So,
that's a movie good late at night.
We've got some guys obviously that got injured last year, like Eggy and Drags, and they're excited about coming back, and both of them look like they put on some good muscle and they're ready to go. They're healthy, and we get some guys returning. They're going to have more of an opportunity, and like I said, look at Sherratt. He scored 20 last year, and what can he get to? Does he top out at 30? Does he go to 40? And so we're excited for these guys. We really are.
Let's talk about the goaltending back there with Zach Bowen. Now you picked him up from the Peterborough piece. I think he's a guy that's just due and is ready to take ready to take the bull by the horns. It seems like to me. And then you have the 2 backups as well. Lucas Johnson. You just picked up Klabowski. I think that's how you say his last name. Is that the way you say it?
Schlabowski.
Okay, it's this Polish thing, I guess.
Bowen is he's coming from a tough situation where he's on a really, really young team that gave up a lot of shots, and he kept them in games and won them some games. And I think coming into here, I know he's excited about it. He's going to be playing, I think, behind a really solid D group. So he's going to carry the load for us. And then, like I said, going into camp, it's going to be it's going to be an open fight for the 2nd and 3rd spot. So Johnson was the first goalie taken. Lucas Johnson was the first goalie taken in the OHL draft. He's an 09. He may not be ready yet for the OHL, but he sure looks good. Schlabowski's been really, really good. He was down at the U18 US tryouts in Buffalo and had a real good viewing there. They really liked him, but he was just outside their top 2. So, and then we've got some free agent, some 06s. We got some guys we drafted from previous years that are playing in Tier 2 or the OJ or Junior B. So it's going to be a battle back there for the 2nd and 3rd spots for our team. But I like the way we look back there.
And in the trade for Zach Bowen, you send Lucas Carmiris back the other way. You did Jack Van Volsen earlier in the offseason for David Green. How difficult is that? Those guys, obviously, Carmiris you draft, you develop, Van Volsen, somebody you brought in a trade, just having to see those guys go in that way.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes players want to change the scenery, right? Maybe they're not happy with the ice time or whatever it is. So sometimes we've got to we're going to move players that we really don't want to move, and I wish them both well, both success and whatnot. But I think bringing in Green on the trade with picks for Van Volsten will help our organization now and down the road. And I think with Carmi is, we got a number one goalie. It's not easy to find a number one goalie. So it's those are always tough trades to make. We'll see how they work out for us. So I know those two guys will have good years, and I think that Greener and Bowen will have good years for us. So.
And you know what I like the most? You talk about hard to play against. When you won Coach of the Year, everybody expected that Steelheads team to be absolutely horrid, as I remember. As I remember correctly, right? And what happened, right? What happened? You guys, just made it pretty good, had a really, really good year. This team kind of reminds me of that team a little bit back in the day. This is the underdog team. And you got one thing about James Richmond, folks, he gets the kids to buy in. And I think this team, they're going to buy in, and I think they're going to turn a lot of heads. And we talked to Parker Von Richter, JR, and he said the same thing. We're going to turn a lot of heads this year. A lot of guys are saying, "Hey, we're the underdogs," but we like that, he said.
Yeah, I'd rather be way out in front and run away from everybody, but I don't mind the underdog spot either. So, years ago, we were the youngest team in the league, and everybody thought that we were going to be maybe in line for one of the lottery picks, and I think we set a Steelheads record for points in a season. And then last year we were loaded. You could say our lineup was loaded, but we were missing 10 players for 6 weeks, and those 10 players, 5 of them were at the World Juniors, and the other 5 were pretty darn good players. So it was a difficult time last year with everybody in and out, and a lot of players. There were some games we were playing with 7 and 9 AP players, and that's not always the easiest thing to do. So our guys did a pretty good job. I think we ended up 2 points behind the record season the year before, but we looked at it as a disappointing season. Obviously, we didn't do what we wanted to do in the playoffs, but again, it's not an excuse at all. It's just sometimes in sports there's a reason for things, and when you lose key guys in the playoff time to injuries like we had, it's very, very difficult. So I think the guys that were there, they did a heck of a job, and now we move forward to this group, and I think that people will look at us being as a team that's probably not going to do much, and we'll all be there to prove everybody wrong. But at the same time, we're there to prove all of us right.
And I can't wait to say that
the players believe in it, the coaches believe in it. So we're just going to go out and play the way we can and prove us right. So the time that we were missing, 6 weeks there, we were missing a lot of good players. Our possession numbers were better. Our puck possession numbers were better. Our shots against us were better. We're the lowest part of the season. So if you can get this group playing night in, night out with the proper buy-in, I'm okay with it.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I can feel it. I can't wait to say it on the air. This team, folks, what do you say now? What do you say? That's what I'm going to say. Oh, yeah. It's coming. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was gonna mention too. Like you were saying last year, at the time when there was all these injuries and these different pieces moving in and out of the lineup, it seemed like the buy-in was there from everybody who was playing on the ice at that time. And I think that is going to be similar, as you're saying, to what we're seeing this year with different pieces moving in.
I agree. I think sometimes when you lose your sexiness, you fall back to what really makes a hockey player, and that is the competitiveness in the player, the buy-in to the structure and how we want to play, and we play with speed and physicality, and I think these guys be prepared to do it.
I can't wait. We all can't wait for the season to start this summer. Flew, right? I mean, it's a little bit of an earlier summer. Earlier start this year than last 2 years. I don't remember it being this early of a start since 2017, maybe. I think it was when they started on September 17th, eh? So,
The
yeah, we all
regular,
can't wait.
they moved it back so we could play more games on the weekend, which is better for our players and going to school. So they moved it back a week. But yeah, it's come back to the way it was when I first started. And I think it's tough because we're going to have players away at NHL camps at that time. We still got, we had the most guys drafted this year. We had the most guys drafted last year. We had the most guys signed. So
Again,
it's great
yes.
it is great for our program. It's great for the kids. It's a little bit more difficult, for all the coaches and Doyler and everybody to figure out what we've got, because we're going to have guys away and some guys might come back. Some guys might not come back. So a little bit of uncertainty, but I can tell you on Monday when they hit the ice, it's going to be full on, and there's going to be a competitive streak out on the ice, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, 100%. Really looking forward to it. Really quick, last thing I did want to ask you about, and obviously you had talked about it, of course, with the rule changes and different guys being able to come in now. Obviously, you said, in the other direction, there are players going out as well, and you guys lost a few guys, as did other teams as well. Like, were you surprised at how many guys left, or is that kind of something that you saw coming with the rule changes?
I think it's going to level out after 2 or 3 years, but right now it's kind of a shiny new toy out there, and everybody's trying to rush into it. And I can tell you that there's no shortcuts. There's some players I can understand it, but I played that level. I played it. It's a tough league to play in. And I think while some of our guys are ready, maybe some of them are jumping too soon. But let's see. Maybe they prove me wrong. Am I surprised a little bit? Yeah. I can't say I'm disappointed in any of my players for going, because I think it's a great hockey league. But I also think that the OHL has been and will continue to be the number one developer of NHL talent. When I spoke to NHL guys over the summer, they're reiterating that with me. Because I'm trying to ask them, what can we do better? What can we do? And they kind of laughing at me because, JR, you just had the most guys drafted off of one team in the CHL. You just had the most guys drafted last year as well. Like, what do you want to do? So we're going to continue to pour our resources into developing our players. And I think our league is still going to be the number one development league in the world. I really, really do. I think we've got great membership, throughout the league. I think we've got some great coaches and some great development guys, and we've got great players coming into our league. You might have more high-end young players coming in now because they don't have to make that decision at 15 years old. So I think the fans are going to see some really, really high-end young come in, and then let's see what happens in 2 or 3 years. Ask me the same question in 2 or 3 years. Maybe not too many guys are leaving early, because if you have a runway to make it to the pro hockey of 9 years, 4 or 5 years in our league and 4 years in the NCAA, there's 8 or 9 years to make it. And it's not easy to get a pro contract. So why would you want to shorten up your runway? I mean, there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. It's all hard work. There's a lot of great players, and I was reading some of the stuff over the summer, and I remember sitting on the dock, up north, and guys talking about, I was so much better than you when we were younger, and another guy chimes in, I was better than you too, and they were, but you guys quit. You guys stopped playing. You quit. You didn't want to keep working. Like, it's hard work. So I didn't get a chance to play in the NHL, but I got paid for 13, 14 years to play pro hockey. So there's a lot of great players, and you have to keep going up the ladder and don't stop. Don't look behind you, because if you stop to look around and take in the sights, taking the views, somebody's going to outwork you. Somebody's going to go right by you on the ladder. So I think that the group that we have here this year is going to be one hardworking group. I really do. And I think our league, let's ask me the same question in 2 or 3 years, and let's see how it all plays out. But I do believe as it's been, the OHL is going to continue to turn out the top players going into the NHL, and we'll continue to do that because I believe in what we do here with the Steelheads in Brampton, and I believe in what our membership does, what our coaches do in this league. So,
All right.
24 games to 68 games. I mean, that's how many games they play over there compared to 68. Okay,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I got mixed emotions about that, but
I'm not going to slag the league because
no.
they're going to the university full time. They've got a lot on their plate.
Yeah. It's a lot
so
more. Yeah.
I'm not going to slag any other league.
Mhm.
I just look forward. I don't look behind. I don't look out to the
Mhm.
side. I look
Good.
forward to what we've done, the OHL has done. I've seen what the Brampton Steelheads have done, and we're just going to keep working harder and harder and harder to keep having that success.
And that's why
That's right.
the most success, the most players drafted out of the, is right here, folks. Brampton Steelheads, and you're looking at the coach of the year. He's been the coach for, I don't know. JR, seems like you've been there like 25 years, it seems like to me, but just saying, I mean, forever. I wanted to ask you, okay, for the
Yeah.
folks listening on the radio, so we're on YouTube as well. What does it say on your shirt?
Steelheads.
Tell the people what. Oh, Steelheads hockey. Okay, I can't really see it. All right. I thought maybe it was something else, like for the concert or something, because you got your arms. So we can't
No,
really see, folks, so we're trying to get a visual here. All right.
at 8 o'clock tonight. The family's out having a quick bite to eat, and
All right.
and then we'll all get ready. But I'll wear. My wife's packed something for me to wear tonight.
That's okay. She does it for me all the time too. Every time we got to go somewhere, folks, or
Yeah.
we got to go somewhere, me and the wife. Okay, you're wearing this for a week.
No.
This. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
There's no
Sounds
point
good
in
to me.
There's no point in me
Yeah,
selecting clothes because she's gonna tell me, "Oh, I thought you were
sometimes
gonna
I'll
wear
take it out. I don't know
wear
about
that."
you, Jared. Yeah,
That,
I don't know about you, Jared, but sometimes when you take it out, say no, no, no. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. But we're looking
Yeah.
forward to this year. If there's anything you want to say to Brampton Steelheads fans right now, what would you say to them?
Yeah, no, I can be more thankful for their support last year, and I'm trusting and hoping it continues. We've got some great players coming through the pipeline here, and we're going to continue to work our butts out on the ice and hopefully have more success this year than we did last year.
All right. That's it. Thank you so much,
That's it.
JR.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much.
you coming on the show, and
Right.
enjoy the concert tonight. And we will see you around the rink pretty soon.
Goal
Have a
sprint
great
down.
time and say hi to the family for me.
All right, guys. All the best.
All
See you
right.
soon. Thank you. Have a great time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was head coach and general manager of the Brampton Steelheads, James Richmond. And we will be right back after this here on Trout Talk. You're listening here on Saga 960 AM. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. We just spoke to James Richmond, head coach and general manager of the Brampton Steelheads. I'm Brendan Lang, Mikey K, and Mike Karafilidis is here as well on Trout Talk.
Well,
Mikey,
thank you very much.
You can hear the excitement in James Richmond's voice. He said he was busy all summer. Said he didn't really get any of the summer, but he's still excited to get back in the rink because that's the kind of guy he is. He always wants to be going.
Yeah, oh yeah, he does. I mean, he goes into a golf tournament and he wins the OHL alumni golf tournament. Him, Matt Chirantano, and Jake Wood. They go in there and they just beat everybody 16 under. That's hilarious. I loved how he described the play though. Eh? He said, "Yeah, he says Jake's sort of a heck of a golfer. Great handicap. Matty, Chachi, he could hit him. And I just kind of cleaned up. But we all know who was the best golfer in that out of that trio. I can tell you. But when he says cleaned up, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, folks, James Richmond, golf is on his mind all the time, and he is really, really good. And if there was a seniors tour, I would represent that guy.
And you be his caddy?
Seriously. Yeah, I'd be his caddy on
Oh,
the back
yeah.
of Richmond.
You
Carrying
got
the
the
golf
bib.
clubs for him. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would put him in a golf tournament. I really would. I would put him in a golf tournament, and I bet you he would win big bucks. I'm gonna have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, we should.
But yeah, it was good to talk to him.
Yeah, 100%. Great to hear from him. We discussed some of the trades that have gone on, and he's really excited about the back end, and I think rightfully so, because there's a few guys that are coming in. I mean, we talk about Zach Nyman. Unfortunately, he just told us there won't be ready to start the season, but of course he'll be there at some point. You bring in the Green brothers, David and Peter coming in.
David and Peter Green.
Yeah, and then you've got Von Richter coming back, of course, another year bigger, stronger, as you're talking about. Jakob Fibiger, same thing. He comes back for another season. Luke Dragusica, we talked a little bit in depth about him, really looking for a big season out of him. Once again, unfortunately, Reed Gee not going to be able to start the year, but there's so much depth there, and I think that it is going to be really a strong part of this team, plus the Zach Bowen move that we discussed as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I think Luke Dragusica is going to have kind of a chip on his shoulder this year. I mean, he ran into some bad luck. You know, we all know he had that knee injury last year. His kneecap got dislocated, and he didn't come back till late in the year, right? And in my opinion, I think if he would have played the whole year, it's possible he probably would have been drafted maybe to the NHL because that was his draft year. And I think that's what kind of put him back a little bit. Obviously, it was the injury, right? So I think he could go back in the draft this year if he has a good year on the back end, which I anticipate he will. And James Richmond talks about he's bigger, he's stronger. Yeah, he's Ivan Drago. I'm telling you, he's Ivan Drago with the hockey stick, right? He's feared out there, and it's kind of funny. I'm not sure if you heard who he compared his game to, Arbor Jacki.
I did, yes.
That says it all, right? But anyways,
Yeah.
I expect him to have a big year back there. And, you know, you talk about the back end. That back end is very solid. Zach Bowen, great goalie they picked up from it's hard to get goalies these days from the Peterborough Petes. And,
Right.
you know, James Richmond said it right. He was getting shot at like 50 shots a game last year. A team that was like only 16 years old, one of the youngest teams in the league, right? So it's a little bit of a different team this year. Yeah, I don't think they're young, but they still got a lot of experience out there too, right? You got your 18, 19-year-olds and Julian D'Amelio, Reed back there, Zabeski up front, Eggleton he talked about, right? So
Sherrod back too.
Gabe Sherrod, you know, I can't forget about Gabe Sherrod. I mean, these are guys 18, 19 years old. Yeah, you're gonna have your Keaton Ardaws, you know, as we talked about. You're gonna have your Peter Green. Young player, of course, he's going to be his first year. So, yeah, it's a mix, and I think it's a good mix, and I think this team's going to work really hard and buy in.
Yeah, I mean that's always the biggest thing with James Richmond run teams is the buy-in, and you had talked about it in the interview as well 2 years ago, not last year but the year before. It was a team that nobody expected to do anything. They were, I mean, I can't remember how far into the year it was, but they were in first place in the Eastern Conference for a good chunk of the season. They were shot out like a cannon, like they got off to a great start, and I think it's something that we can expect this year too. And like he said, there's not going to be as many sexy names, big names up front, but they're going to buy into the system, and that's kind of what he needs to get the most out of his players.
And here's the thing, Brendan. I look at the Steelheads, but I look around the league too. A lot of I think that it's wide open. I really do think the East is wide open. There are some sexy names. You talk about sexy names out there, but are there a lot of sexy names? Right? Because there's a lot of guys coming from the USHL now. It's a different ball game now, folks. USHL guys that are committed, that play in the BCHL that are coming to the OHL as well. It's a good thing. It's a lot of this league's going to be very, very talented. So who knows who's going to be good? Who's going to be thinking, okay, yeah, they picked this guy up from the USHL. They picked this guy up from the USHL or import drafts. Nobody knows. Nobody knows until you step out on the ice, and you got to prove yourself, especially in this league. So this league is a little bit different from the BCHL and the USHL. So, but I think the East is wide open. I think Brampton might turn a lot of heads this year.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't see, you know, too many teams that are like, yeah, that's a shoe-in to be at the top. That's a shoe-in to be at the top. Like you said, because there's so many moving pieces, it's really hard to tell. Like, it's not like past years where, okay, you got your overagers going out and you got a few 16-year-olds coming in. Some guys, some 19-year-olds are going, or excuse me, 20-year-olds are going to pro leagues, the AHL, NHL, whatever it is. Now, because there's so many moving parts, you got quite a few younger guys coming in. You have a few top guys going out. It's really tough to know. It's really tough to know what it's going to be like. And I'm really I really liked the answer that James Richmond gave when I asked him about if he was kind of surprised if there were players going, and how he said, this is still the best development league. And I think that he's correct in that.
Mhm.
And I will definitely want to ask him that in 3 years, because I would like to know what the answer is and how things change, because I do think that the answer he gave was great, and it was really insightful.
I'll tell you something. You know what? Some of the guys that went to the NCAA, don't be surprised if they come back. Don't be surprised if they come back, because James Richmond, how he said, maybe some guys went too young. I mean, Jack Ivankovic went over, right? Just to name one. Another one, Adam Valentini from the Kitchener Rangers. He was committed to Kitchener, and then he decided to go to Michigan, and that's his choice, of course, whatever. But don't be surprised, because these guys in the NCAA, they're older. That's an older league. So you got 17, 18-year-olds. You're not guaranteed a starting spot, right? And I'm just saying. So maybe some of the players, they're going to get mad. They're not going to develop properly. Like I said, I'm not going to knock the league either, the NCAA. It's a good league. But maybe for younger players, maybe they should stay back or maybe a year. That's my point. That's all I'm saying about that, right? So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Again, we'll have to kind of see 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road how it works, and how those stories kind of progress. So we will definitely keep an eye on that. Quickly before we go, I did want to talk about, I mentioned it in the first segment, about some of the players that got drafted for the Steelheads this year. Of course, Martone, we knew he was going to be high in the draft. He gets picked. But one guy is Gabe Sherratt. I was really happy to see him get picked by Vancouver there. I think it was it the 6th round, I want to say?
Yeah,
I think that's correct. Yeah, 6th round for Gabe Sherratt. I talked to him at the golf tournament, and really excited to be drafted. And I just think that that's a guy who the progression has been so crazy over the years that he's been with the Steelheads.
Perma smile, eh? Didn't he have a perma smile at the golf tournament? And he's willing to talk to us and talk about the experience and whatnot. He was sitting at home. He wasn't there or whatever, but really, really happy for him. Guy that gets the goals in the dirty areas. Vancouver Canucks are going to love this kid. And, his cousin, of course, is Ben Sherratt. So he's got a little bit of blood in there too, right? So don't forget about that. But a guy that gets to the greasy areas. He hits. He does. He can do a lot of things. And for his progression last year as a 17-year-old, now he's going into the league as an 18-year-old, and we saw him at the golf tournament. He's bigger, he's stronger. I think he's going to have James Richmond talked about it too. He thinks he's going to have a big year this year, and I think so too.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? It just speaks to the work ethic. When I talked to him, I was just leaving, and I stopped him and said, congratulations for getting picked.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome. And he's the first thing he said was, "Yeah, it's cool, but the work's not done."
Yes, yeah. He's he's like that.
Yeah.
It's cool. But
the
work's not done.
Yeah,
That's a perfect. Yeah, that's the way he talks.
Yeah. So
I gotta give, it's props to him.
Yeah.
Props to Porter Martone for getting drafted, of course, and
Jack
Aiden Lane, who was with the Steelheads for a little bit. Now he's committed to Harvard this year. Jack Ivankovic, congratulations to him, of course. And another 4 Steelheads gone. That's it.
Right.
Drafted best developmental team in the league is right here, folks.
That's right. 100%. And we're going to be following them all season long. We'll be in the rink. We'll be calling the games. Mikey, of course, you'll be on the road just like the last few years. You'll be covering that. Myself, Zach Bodenstein, will be covering the games at home in the CAA Center in Brampton. So really looking forward to everything. Mikey, thanks for being here today. First episode of season 3. James Richmond again. Thank you for coming on the program, and we will continue this throughout the entire season. And it's coming up soon. Training camp just about to get underway. First preseason game, August 29th, starting a little bit early this year. So
let everybody know that we will be on the air. Our first preseason game will be September 13th against the Barrie Colts. Just to let everybody know, that game will be live on Saga 960.
Live on Saga 960, and
check
then
your local listings.
We will have that. Like you said, Trout Talk 1 to 2 on Sundays. Some Sundays it might be different, but that's the time you can usually find us, 1 to 2 here, Saga 960 AM. Thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in as well. For myself, Brendan Lang, for Mikey K. Again, hope you have a great rest of your week, and we're almost there. Thanks for listening here on Saga 960 AM.